You don't know what's happening in your body, and right now, that's removing the diminishing returns that you're seeing in your business. No one on this earth knows how to interpret what's going on in their bodies in real time, and that's slowly killing us as a population. Cancers, brain fog, lack of focus, obesity, all of these things can be traced down to a root cause. And that root cause is not interpreting and deep diving health properly. Every single millionaire is making this profound mistake, and that's what's separating the wealth gap between millionaires and billionaires. People that make millions of dollars per month do not care about interpreting their health. And for the past 6 years, I've made this my life mission, and it's my job, helping 7, 8, and 9-figure founders automate and interpret health so that they can live as long as possible and have the highest yields on their return on output as unimaginable. And this applies to any business owner. It doesn't matter if you're in tech, marketing, advertising, branding, product. This works for any skin color, any body shape, because fundamentally, all of our bodies are the same and they function in very similar ways and patterns. However, the understanding of where the body is at in terms of what data we can pull from somebody in real time is different amongst people. So let's get right into it. Why do 7, 8, and 9-figure founders pay me hundreds of thousands of dollars? Well, fundamentally speaking, when it comes down to an offer, very much so, the value equilibrium leans on higher perceived value to the price that is paid. And with health in general, there is a giant gaping hole, which is every single person's #1 value for their existence and the momentum that they built up with their human body is health. Without health and without sustenance and existence, there is no business, there is no money, there is no family, there is no free time, because the centerpiece of all of our decision making is our brain and our bodies. Those are our finite limitations and constraints. And the way that humans go about fixing and fine-tuning and understanding those constraints is not done effectively at all. And just because you care about fitness and you care about going to the gym or you care about eating healthy doesn't mean that you actually care about health. The majority of humans in general, when it comes down to health, is actually based around an end result for their ego. For example, bodybuilders. We sacrifice health for a visual aesthetic and for reward mechanisms and reactions from other people, but it's evident that bodybuilders are chronically unhealthy. They have a lot of problems that are hidden because aesthetics are at the forefront of their glitz and glory that they possess in their day-to-day lives. But truth catches up to them inevitably, and they end up dying at 30, 40, 50 years old, very young ages. And that's why you don't see a lot of highly successful people in business becoming bodybuilders, because they understand the exponential yield curve, and why would you cut your life short for aesthetics? So it's not about achieving an end result. It's not about having six-pack or having big biceps or looking chiseled or gaining weight or losing weight. It's about interpreting and understanding and seeing and being face-to-face with the facts of where is the body at? Where's the blood work at? Where's the gut testing at? Where's my resting heart rate at? Where's all this data at in correlation to my goals? And so what we do for our clients is we set their goal. Fundamentally, this could be anything from weight gain, it could be doing an Ironman, it could be that aesthetic yield that they're looking for. And then we take all of their testing, their blood work, gut testing, DEXA scan, live metrics, and that data is then dissected and it's understood where those limitations are with where they might be in and out of range. And then those results then get fed holistically and it's dissected into their meal plan and their training and their mobility. So if there's limitations identified with any aspect of their health, the limitations are then being worked on so that they can be eradicated to thus reduce further inflammation in the body. And once that inflammation is reduced, then the goal setting and the goal achieving process gets a lot more streamlined, and then people actually start to get healthy. It surprised me when we introduced this concept and we started getting clients and just looking at the general market for something similar to this. But realistically, this is all happening in front of us in real time. The body is communicating with its stomach, it's communicating with its muscles, and it's sending signaling pathways to our brain that then we react on based on our interpretation. And there is a lot of science on health, but the key thing that makes it or breaks it for these 7, 8, and 9-figure founders is the streamlining of the application process of these findings. So there's a lot of companies like Superpower or Whoop or what Brian Johnson is doing, but they fall flat on their face in terms of consistently streamlined, simple application. The end user is used to very simple and easy to use products like an iPhone or Uber Eats or Uber. And when things aren't orchestrated in that way, especially important things like our health, we just tend to not do them. And until something is created that meets that level of streamlining and ease of use, people will not do something because the attention that it requires to fix these health problems is so large, and it's such a headache, and it takes a lot of knowledge, and it takes a lot of bridging appointments together and finding the right people, that unless if the food is right in front of you or the workout is perfectly orchestrated to where you're at and your goals, no one's going to do it. And so what we've done is we've reduced the friction of the tasks required to just those things. All of our clients have to do is eat the food that's in front of them. And you may ask how? Well, we hire and we find trained chefs to then orchestrate and put into motion the meal plan that we've created for our clients in their home. So that way they can continue to work in front of the computer without necessarily having to make a beet salad or a green smoothie or have a high protein meal to heal their gut, because they don't have time to do that. And so by removing and streamlining the entire data to application and implementation process, the entire going gets a lot easier. And these people at the 7, 8, and 9-figure realm rate, they understand the value of truth as they have gone through their own grit and sacrifices and pains to get to where they are at in business. And fundamentally speaking, once they are face to face with truth, then the general consensus lies that the gaping hole, finding truth in health, is a very meticulous and difficult thing, and it takes a lot of people and a lot of effort and a lot of energy and understanding to facilitate and put that in motion, even though it's the most important thing in our lives. And that's the beauty of health. The goal setting that we do and setting our sights on gaining weight or losing weight, like I mentioned, that simply puts somebody in the position where they're locked in and where they will follow through with the program as they see results. But health is not about the goal. Health is about being in perfect harmony with the inept creator abilities that all humans on this earth have when you remove all limitations that are put on the brain and the body. This could be anything from microplastics or hormone disruptors, or just like a sprained ankle that never healed properly, or an imbalanced gut. The magic happens when all of these pieces come together, the goals that are set get higher and higher and higher, and the way that the body communicates with itself and what is created as an end result of that compared to when somebody came into the program is the driver between living the best possible life imaginable and just barely getting by and being negligent and potentially running the risk of having health problems down the line like cancer or immobility issues, etc. And this is all happening in real time, regardless if optimability exists or not. The body is constantly communicating with itself through the mechanisms that I explained, through all the different systems, the neuromuscular system, the lymphatic system, the skin, the gut, the blood, all of these things, all of these imbalances, all of these little details hide secret keys that can hold pain or constraints that then furthermore affect our bodies and then our mind. And it's up to us to identify what and where those constraints are and how we're going to put them in motion and fix them for our clients. If you're a 7, 8, or 9-figure business owner, check out the link below. My Instagram is on there. We have a pretty solid community in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, but we install this all over the world. We're mainly in America, Dubai, and Canada, like I mentioned. But this is a no-brainer for saving time, increasing exponential output when it comes down to your business or what you're trying to create, and just being the best possible version of the value that you're bringing into this world. As when you have no constraints that are hidden and that you might not know of, the way that you put things out and the fluidity and motion with that sort of attention goes exponentially longer than it ever could have been by doing this all yourself. See you in the next one.